No one has more state pride than New Mexicans. The vibrant culture, bold flavors, unique history, and dramatic landscapes under our Zia sun are like no other. And the people of New Mexico are a rare breed. As diverse as we are, together we breathe life and soul into this high desert land. A land that promises adventure. I'm Michael Newman, and as your host, I'll be taking you with me as I seek out the best the land of enchantment has to offer.
New Mexico, it feels like home to me. It feels so true. It's time well spent when I spend it with you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of New Mexico True Television. I'm your host, Michael Newman. In this episode, we're seeking out some incredible guest home getaways. From dude ranches to historic mountain lodges and pastoral cottages in verdant valleys, we find experiences for every kind of traveler. Just 40 miles east of Santa Fe and tucked into the valleys of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains is Cow Creek Ranch. With over 4 miles of streams and 7 mountain lakes, this historic guest ranch at the southern tip of the Pecos Wilderness has been luring visitors since the 1930s. The historic integrity of this rustic lodge has been lovingly preserved by managers Lanier and Mike, and as cozy as it is inside, the outdoors are beckoning me. They're already getting the horses saddled up for my first venture into the surrounding forest.
When you're riding old Charlie here, you want to hold your reins in your left hand so you can swing your rope with your right. Okay?
All right, let's hit the trail.
You got it.
Of the slew of recreational activities to enjoy at Cow Creek, a quiet horseback ride makes for an incredible introduction to the sublime surroundings.
It's world-class fishing.
I'll definitely be devoting some time to these renowned pristine waters, but I've got a few other things on my docket first. After this ride, I'm heading deeper into the woods to get some instruction from Lanier on their archery course.
Pull the bow back all the way to that reference point. Mine is usually by my eye, and this is all instinctual shooting.
Okay.
So you're just gonna look down the arrow, back a little bit more. There you go, that's about where you were at. And release. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Way to go, almost a Robin Hood.
Yes.
Now we're gonna move on to some actual animals.
Okay.
We'll have to find the targets here in the woods. All right, the bear.
The bear.
Over his front shoulder is the vital area, so that's where you're gonna wanna be aiming.
Okay.
Nice, well you stuck him.
Yeah.
That's a body shot.
Okay.
He's still alive, still kicking. That's good. That'll make him either run or turn towards you and run at you.
Oh boy.
Perfect, very nice, that's a vital shot. You got one in the vitals here. 5 body shots, way to go.
All right. I just needed to warm up a little bit. Got him.
Nice, very nice. Perfect. Woo.
I'm officially hooked. One more target remains, and Lanier's gonna have to pry me away from this bow.
Boom.
But now it's time to trade in my arrows for the big guns, literally.
What we're gonna be shooting, these are semi-auto 391 Berettas. This is the safety on the gun right here. We're gonna keep the safety on all the time throughout the course. The only time the safety will come off is when you're standing in the box right before you're ready to shoot.
This is a first for me. I've never held a gun, let alone shot one.
Fire in the hole? Is that what you're
That's
supposed
perfect,
to say?
yeah, sure, that works.
You can tell I've never done this before. Okay. Whoa! Sorry.
Good job. Okay, you can
Okay.
take the gun down. Go ahead and put your safety on.
All right.
Nice job.
All right.
All right, you can hand it to me for a second. Take a breath.
All right.
Way to go! That'll put some hair on your chest.
Oh, for sure. Or take some off.
Trapper ready.
Pull!
Are you kidding me?
Really?
Put your safety on. I can't believe it.
Wow.
I cannot believe that.
Trapper ready.
Pull!
Who knew I had it in me? It's loud and a little scary,
Pull!
but wow.
I think I got both of them. That was a little exhilarating. For
Hard
me.
to believe you're a beginner.
I'm still shaking a little bit.
If this were summer camp, you could say Lanier was my camp counselor. She's amazing, and her love for this place dates back long before her family bought the place.
My grandpa started coming here in the 40s. He brought my dad ever since my dad was 5, and then my parents brought us ever since I was about 3.5. Coming here was pure joy. It's just peaceful, free, really free. This has felt like my second home my whole life. It's been my primary home for 15 years, and I love it.
Just walking around the property, seeing these little beautiful waterfalls out of nowhere and this beautiful lush greenery that you have here. I can imagine all the fishermen in New Mexico and the country just wanting to line up to come and just be in those waters.
It's definitely a fisherman's dream. It definitely is. And we work hard to make it that way and to keep it that way, making sure you have a clear back cast and trimming up the willows and things like that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Excellent.
Beyond the scenery though, clearly the trophy-sized fish swimming around these ponds is another draw. I can see them from here.
Set, set, set. There we go. Tip up, baby. That's a nice fish, Michael. There you go.
Just come on in. You know you want to come home. Come on in. There we go.
Nice fish.
Oh, he's a big guy.
Give you some.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Trout.
One of the really cool things about coming up to Cow Creek is it's a testament to catch and release. There's some very, very large fish in here.
Coming up here is truly a chance of a lifetime. For larger groups, book the entire lodge or rent the 2-bedroom cabin. And whatever you do, make sure you take time to relax. Up next, the vineyard to make even Italians green with envy.
Whether you want to unplug and reconnect or plan your next great outdoor adventure, New Mexico State Parks has it all. Enjoy camping, boating, fishing, hiking, and special events all year round in 34 parks. Visit nmparks.com and book up to 6 months in advance. New Mexico State Parks, your official sponsor of adventure.
In today's competitive marketing environment, there's a lot of buzz about drone video. Businesses of all types are looking skyward for better images to promote their companies, products, and services. Communities large and small are using drone video for economic development and tourism applications. Real estate agents know the value of drone video as a powerful selling tool for the homes, commercial buildings, and properties that they represent. Even ranchers are finding new and unique uses for drone video. And everyone wants professional drone video for their websites, social media, trade shows, and more. That's why Cliff Dweller Digital's FAA certified drone pilots will consult with you to ensure that your drone footage captures exactly what you want and need. Nothing compares to drone video, shot indoors or out by the professionals with more drone capabilities and experience than anyone else in New Mexico. Cliff Dweller Digital. Check us out at cliffdwellerdigital.com or call 505-891-7400. We look forward to working with you.
Discover the rich history, ancient cultures, tempting cuisine, world-class art, and experiences you'll only find in Sandoval County, where traditions are born and memories are made. Sandoval County is New Mexico true.
Get your wild side on at Wildlife West Nature Park in Edgewood. The whole family will enjoy following the trail through our wildlife refuge and zoo year-round. You can get up close and personal with our cougars and more than 20 other species of New Mexico wildlife, including bobcats, elk, bear, fox, and a whole lot more. For park hours and our upcoming events, visit us at wildlifewest.org. Wildlife West Nature Park is New Mexico true.
Do you take a lot of pictures on your New Mexico travels? Well, if you do, show us by hashtagging New Mexico True on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just over 2 hours south of Albuquerque off Highway 142 is Monticello. A green, arid valley is the setting for this centuries-old village. With cell phone reception miles behind you, the quiet serenity of Monticello offers respite and repose. And the vineyards and lavender fields of Steve and Jane Darlin's organic farm here make for a heavenly backdrop to the adobe casitas they have available for rent. But the most intoxicating element of this farm is the renowned traditional Italian-style balsamic vinegar created here.
This is where it begins with the grapes. Let me take a walk with you up to the Achataya, the vinegar loft to look at where it finishes, where it ages.
From pruning the grapes to filling the bottles, the Darlins are hands-on throughout the entire process, and theirs is now considered the best traditional aged balsamic vinegar outside of Italy.
These are open.
Oh, wow.
And that allows them to breathe freely and for things to evaporate. That's the way it concentrates. We only withdraw juice from the smallest one. Now we've got 8 small ones up here at the end of batteries of 7.
So it's kind of a continuum going through the process.
Correct. Each a year at a time.
Wow.
In each of the casks. They are oak, chestnut, ash, acacia, mulberry, cherry, and juniper.
Wow.
Like spices or herbs, they have different tastes and effects.
So from beginning to end, how many years has it gone through to get to that last barrel?
18. Every year, 30% of the juice evaporates from this space. And we only take out 3%. And it's how you can get to the juice of 200 pounds of fruit can get all the way down to 4.5 ounces.
And I'm about to get a taste for myself. An honor considering they do a limited run of only 1,000 bottles each year. To have such an artisanal gem here in one of our state's ghost towns is truly special. What do you think the draw is to this location that makes it so special?
You know, this was really an important place going way back to the 1500s. It was on the Royal Road that connected Santa Fe with Mexico City. There was always a Catholic church outpost here. They were growing grapes here for the communion. So it was a winemaking region. There are wild grapes up this canyon.
Wow. And even, you know, native cultures that were here.
They were here for one reason. They wanted to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And there was water here and wonderful things would grow. So we're kind of here for the same reason. It's just a different kind of food. This is our life. Mm-hmm. This is the beauty of our life. Mm-hmm. This is the art in our life. But also we have a functioning organic farm here, is alive and growing and changing. This is very much like a farm 100 years ago.
Right.
I mean, we have obviously a lot of conveniences they didn't have, but we have a lot of the simplicities that they had. And have you ever had a day when you felt stressed and busy and overbooked? Well, we don't have those kind of days. And most of the pollutions of modern man are not here.
Right. You know, there's these places in New Mexico that people come from all over the world to just get away. Right? And I feel like this is one of those places where you can come and like you want to disconnect, like the whole idea disconnect to reconnect kind of idea.
Yeah.
This is totally one of those places where all you're hearing is the crickets and the wind and the trees.
That's true.
You know? If you have 2 nights or more, these adobes can be yours. What are you waiting for? Make sure to email Jane to schedule a customized tour of the village and farm facilities, tastings included. Stay tuned as I learn the cowboy way.
Discover the rich history, ancient cultures, tempting cuisine, world-class art, and experiences you'll only find in Sandoval County, where traditions are born and memories are made. Sandoval County is New Mexico true.
Looking for something fun to do in Albuquerque? Look no further. ABQ365.com is your resource for things to do in ABQ. From food and wine to local culture to sporting events, ABQ365 has something for you to do every day of the year. Check out the 365 days of events. Get out and enjoy all that Albuquerque has to offer. Go to ABQ365.com and make your plans today.
Are you looking for an adventure that's a bit out of the ordinary? You've come to the right place. Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary in northwestern New Mexico.
This is my home, and this is my pack. I've helped rescue over 400 wolves over the last 2 decades. Beautiful animals that unfortunately cannot be released into the wild.
Your visit will give you an intimate look at these magnificent creatures and an appreciation that only comes with an experience like this.
Check us out at wildspiritwolfsanctuary.org.
Your New Mexico Four Corners adventure begins in Farmington, the perfect destination for active families and outdoor enthusiasts, where the only thing bigger than our big skies and badlands are the big adventures that challenge your wild side. Farmington will jolt your journey with unexpected surprises, whether you're 8 or 80. Farmington, where active families and outdoor enthusiasts thrive. Farmington is New Mexico true. Begin your journey at farmingtonnm.org.
And now from the pages of New Mexico Magazine. About an hour southwest of Roswell on dirt country roads is Burntwell Guest Ranch. And you'll know you have arrived when you begin to hear the pounding of horses' hooves in the distance. It has all the makings of a classic Western. Windmills silhouetted on the desert's horizon, sun rays shining through the dust being kicked up by the horses. But distinguishing Burntwell from other dude ranches is it is a working cattle ranch. And as a guest, you'll have the opportunity to take part in the activities necessary to keep the ranch in operation. You are not playing a cowboy, you have the chance to truly become one while you're here.
We're going to go out here and gather these cows out of this pasture, and we're going to move them across into a smaller pasture. Do you know what a flight zone is? You're going to have to get around and cut that cow out and bring them back down this way. But that's what we're going to be doing. Is there any questions?
Well, I guess I won't know if I'm up for it until I've tried it. So after a brief lesson, it's time for me to test my skills. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous if I'm up to the task. That task being to move the cattle into another section of the ranch. We split up so we can come at the cows from 2 different angles, surrounding them and moving them to the desired location. And just like clockwork, the cows begin to migrate under our direction. This is all prep for tomorrow's work, which will be getting the cattle into pens where we'll be doing pregnancy tests and vaccinations on the females. I may have yet to earn my spurs, but riding on the open range is certainly reward enough.
You've done a great job, Teague.
Thank you.
Back at the homestead, Patricia is preparing a chuck wagon style dinner, complete with homemade peach cobbler heated by coals in the Dutch oven. And while she tends to our meal, we all have a chance to unwind and to get to know one another out of the saddle. At the close of my first day, I already have an appreciation for this way of life. Up with the sunrise, I grab a word with the Chessers about the experience here on their ranch.
We're helping to get some people to see just a little glimpse into what actually ranch life is.
Mm-hmm.
That's sometimes a lot different than what they have pictured in their mind,
Right.
of what they've read in the books.
Being someone who's only ridden on trails, the freedom of having such open pasture and just being able to just trot through the landscape, and also the aspect of working the cattle. When you're in it, you just think of it as work, but when you come as an outsider, I know for me, there's this almost this sort of meditation you have to be in to be present with the horses and with the cattle. When we're in the pen, like you're trying to figure out how to separate the cows, it's a very intuitive thing, but then the maneuverability of moving your course that way, it was akin to like playing football for me. You know, you have to look and read what's happening, you have to be super present. There we go. It's like reading a quarterback.
A lot of people come here and they think they can go chase cows and they want to do everything fast. But I tell them, I said, well, let's do this slow, because stress is terrible on animals. And we want to try to work all of our cattle with the least amount of stress that we can. They're making a living for us. Mm-hmm. And so when they're hurting, we're concerned. We just want to get through all of this with our livestock in the least amount of stress that we can have.
Working with these ranchmen has certainly opened my eyes to the care that goes into their work.
We've had people come here that just looked at how we tended to the cattle, and
they're blown away at the tenderness of these cowboys with their livestock.
Okay, Michael, we're ready for you on this.
But my biggest mind-blowing moment? Feeling a calf inside of a womb.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Almost the size of a little cottontail.
Wow, yeah.
Just floating in fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah. Wow. Never say never.
It's after the third day that they start to relax. Because they are so tied up with their jobs at home that it takes some time for them
unwind
to
it.
Yes, exactly.
It's like the third day is the magic day because that's when your soreness leaves, but that's also when their walls come down and they get recentered. That's pretty cool to watch. It's fun to watch the walls come down.
And then the sunset and the sky, you would definitely remember those moments.
It meets some needs in people that they don't realize they even have.
Truer words have not been spoken. This is the stuff cowboy poetry is made of. So on that note, over the trail let me gallop away, make me a cowboy again for a day. When planning your trip to Burntwell, keep in mind their 3-day minimum. If you want more private quarters, opt for the casita, but the bunkhouse is where you'll find the fun and the chocolate chip cookies. For more great stories like this from New Mexico Magazine, visit newmexico.org. Coming up, the landscapes paintings are made of.
Feel the beat of traditional native dances. Explore the Pueblo story through immersive museum exhibits. Taste Pueblo-inspired new Native American cuisine. Located in the heart of Albuquerque, the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center is your gateway to the 19 pueblos of New Mexico. Bring the whole family for a day of discovery. Plan your adventure at IndianPueblo.org.
Santa Rosa. Come, visit, and discover a magical place where you can step back in time, relive the glory years of Route 66, experience our inspiring, photo-perfect natural beauty, and explore one of Billy the Kid's favorite hideaways. Santa Rosa is New Mexico true.
What every child deserves.
To be safe in our home.
Food and clothes.
Not to be hurt.
A good education.
To grow up with our brothers and sisters.
To be loved, valued, and respected.
El Ranchito is a loving and stable children's home where brothers and sisters can live together as they grow into adulthood or until they can be reunited with their families. With your help, El Ranchito de los Niños will continue its mission for years to come. Learn how you can help. Call us today.
Find your next life-changing adventure in Gallup. Real, true adventures. For art lovers, culture seekers, and outdoor adventures. Gallup is real, true. Plan your next life-changing adventure at GallupRealTrue.com.
Your New Mexico Four Corners adventure begins in Farmington, the perfect destination for active families and outdoor enthusiasts, where the only thing bigger than our big skies and badlands are the big adventures that challenge your wild side. Farmington will jolt your journey with unexpected surprises, whether you're 8 or 80. Farmington, where active families and outdoor enthusiasts thrive. Farmington is New Mexico true. Begin your journey at farmingtonnm.org.
Do you need a reason to hit the road? Find out about upcoming events around the state at newmexico.org. A few hours southeast of Albuquerque off US 380 East is the town of San Patricio. Here, nestled under the trees in the gorgeous Hondo Valley, you will find cottages belonging to the Hurd Wyeth family ranch. This family of American master painters considered this landscape their muse, as well as their home. Peter Hurd and his wife Henriette Wyeth hosted scores of visitors, and their son Michael continues this legacy in renting out the guest homes he has earnestly renovated on the property. Before settling into one of the cottages though, I would suggest popping into the Hurd La Rinconada Gallery to see the work inspired by this place. After my visit, I was anxious to speak with Michael, a painter in his own right, about the history of this unique property. Peter Hurd is, a household name in New Mexico, grown up in Roswell and has done prolific art all around the state. But I want to know the backstory of how him and his wife came here to this property in the beautiful Hondo Valley. Is there a magical story of how that came together?
When my father was a little boy, he remembers looking west to the Capitan Mountains, which were, as he put it, they look like a triangle, like an Egyptian pyramid almost. And he was fascinated with that hunk of blue jade on the horizon. The Capitan Mountains feature a lot in his work.
When he went to study under Michael's grandfather, N.C. Wyeth, in Pennsylvania, he had written him a letter asking if he could come and study under him. And he said, yeah, come on. And so he ended up going there where he met Henriette, the oldest daughter of N.C. Wyeth, and they fell in love. And then, after working under him for several years, he wanted to come back to New Mexico. I just recently saw a sketch that Peter had done up on the hill back here, and he had climbed up there and done a sketch of this place. And he said, this is what I just bought for you. You know, I just bought you 8 acres with water rights.
It looked beautiful on the night that my mother came in on the train. My father met her and brought her in from Carrizosa. She said in the moonlight it was spectacular.
So fast forward a little bit so that they got established here. And how did this valley relate to the work he was doing? How did that play into his art?
What he really had in his blood was the Southwest and the clear blue skies of New Mexico and the pristine light that we have here. And I think both my parents compared the valley here to Siena in Italy, the dry hills and the look and the beautiful clarity of air, which incidentally, and Denise knows this, has a lot to do with why my father chose watercolor and egg tempera to paint in, because it has, to him, it had more clarity of air and of light and space than you could get from any other medium. It's interesting to see the way he combined, ultimately, egg tempera and oil to give real transparency and resonance to the shadows. So you pick up
It's so beautiful. It's
wonderful,
like luminescent. It's just like a moonlit night in New Mexico. I mean, just sitting here, you're sitting in a painting. And there's so much life in this valley with the water coming through and the big trees, and it's inspiring.
As a guest here now, just going to sleep and having, you know, a Wyeth book beside me, you know, a Hurd painting in front of me. It's just so great to think that a place like this can be preserved and experienced now.
My parents always had guests here, farmers, ranchers, cowboys, movie people. And what I had in mind when I started renovating these adobes was to try to attract people back of that caliber and of that interest, because they all seem to gravitate to the uniqueness of this country.
It's a very unique experience, yeah. This place may very well be the best kept secret of Lincoln County. Get here before the secret's out. Anytime is a good time to treat yourself to a visit, but the month of May brings a violet hue to the Hondo Valley during the Hondo Iris Festival. And see more works by Peter Hurd nearby at his hometown's Roswell Museum and Art Center. And now, here's another New Mexico true treasure.
Hi, I'm Amy Barabee, and I believe that Los Poblanos is one of our New Mexico true treasures. You have this very humble yet impeccably designed event venue where I've gone to events for business occasions primarily, as well as weddings and that kind of stuff. Then you have the inn portion where I've had the privilege of having breakfast, where I am watching the afternoon chefs pick herbs out of the garden and bring it in, and it is as farm to table as it gets. You know, you're sitting there having breakfast, watching the peacocks. They have these extraordinary white peacocks stroll outside. They've made it a true treasure in the middle of an urban setting. When I see that Los Poblanos sign, I start to feel that feeling of like, all right, I'm about to arrive and change, and I'm changed every time I go to Los Poblanos.
I'm glad you could join me in my pursuit to find the perfect home away from home, where rest, relaxation, and an overall reset awaits. With that being said, what are you doing next weekend?